Today on Things Green, we're going on an underwater adventure to the world's most futuristic farm. Special guest Luca from Ocean Reef is working on a project called Nemo's Garden. They're growing plants 20 feet below sea level in large domes off the Bay of Noli in Savona, Italy. Their goal is to provide a sustainable way to grow plants for third world countries. That's today on Things Green.
Things Green is brought to you in part by
Super Thrive, the original vitamin solution. 50 vitamins and nutrients. Vitamins for trees, plants, and lawns. More information at superthrive.com.
Southland Sod Farms, creators of genuine marathon sod. Pre-grown tall fescue grass. More information at sod.com.
Dram Garden Products, makers of watering tools since the 1940s. Committed to saving water with handheld tools, hoses, and water wands. More information at dram.com.
With continued support from Cole Tomato Cages, planting, growing, and harvesting. More information at colemetals.com. And by the Radisson Hotel Whittier, with newly renovated rooms and an on-site bistro restaurant. More information at radisson.com. And by the State Farm Youth Advisory Board, supporting school-based, youth-led service learning projects.
Whenever you go out and do any kind of gardening, you have to make sure that you have the right tools at hand. And today we have a very special gardening experience for you. So I want to make sure that you have your rake and your shovel and maybe backpack blower or something like that. Oh, don't forget your Speedo bikini and your scuba gear, because when we're talking gardening with this guy, you have to have scuba gear. Luca, how you doing?
I'm great.
You know what? So we have our scuba mask here, so I guess we're going to take it, turn it upside down, put some plants inside and watch them grow?
We are.
Yeah.
We are. That's exactly what we're going to do.
I got a feeling you're kind of pulling my leg there, but we do have something that is really unique and much different that you've ever seen us do before on the show, and that is we have ourselves a transcontinental broadcast going on right now. Not only are we here right now at the thingsgreen.com Botanical Gardens with Luca, but we're also on the other side of the world in Italy. Man, this is amazing. Modern technology, I love it to no end. And the reason why we're here is because, Luca, you're working on something that just caught my eye. We have to tell everybody about it because it's so exciting, so cutting edge, so Nemo's Garden.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so tell us about it. What is Nemo's Garden?
Well, Nemo's Garden is a very bizarre idea that came to my dad's head during a vacation, unfortunately. So he found a way to get my mom angry enough to work during his vacation.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he has more of a hobby of gardening. We are into scuba diving, so it's something that is not business related, but he thought, how can I do business and do something that I love as well?
Makes sense.
You know? And of course, again, have my wife really angry about me working during the summer. And the idea he had was very simple, actually. He thought about how difficult it was to grow any kind of plant in an environment where you have incredible excursions of temperature between day and night. So think about a desert. We go way above the hundreds in Fahrenheit, and we go way low, like in the 40s or 30s sometimes. And that's either preventing the plant from growing well or preventing the plant from growing at all.
Yeah, inconsistent temperatures.
Exactly, exactly. Where is a place in the world where you have constant temperatures almost all the time? It's actually in the sea. And that's something that we experience all the time. In the Mediterranean especially, we have a body of water that holds a constant temperature almost throughout the year. So and that's a perfect environment for the plants. So what he did, he basically created a biosphere. What is a biosphere? A biosphere is a balloon full of air, a plastic balloon, that we then submerge underwater, and we put our nice little plant right there.
Okay, so kind of like a Nautilus kind of thing, isn't it? Or,
It is.
Or Atlantis, so you get your own little
It
world
is.
going on in the ocean.
Absolutely, it is an underwater environment.
Okay.
There's air inside. There's light coming in from the surface, and of course there's a nice and cozy temperature for the plants. Plus, we found out in the process that we would have evaporation inside. So salt water would evaporate, would then hit the biosphere, the plastic, and then would condense. So fresh water would then humidify the plants on its own. It's in a not a sustainable system where no energy is used to create this water at all. And we were successful right from the bat in a very experimental and simple way. So it was super cool.
So now you've got a scuba business that is also in the farming business. Man, I love that.
It is. It
I
is.
really do. Okay, so let me get this straight now. We have ourselves. We'll call it. I think you called it a sphere. So we have this sphere. There's air inside the sphere. And because you have this air inside there and you have plants inside there, you've got evaporation coming. The evaporation is hitting the inside of this sphere. That moisture there is pure water because there's no salt that's happening with that. And then, or the salt is being left behind, and that moisture is then watering the plants.
It is.
This is awesome. I hope we're going to be able to visit that and see what it actually looks like. Okay, I have to admit that I never thought in my life I'd have to say, take your scuba gear with you when you go gardening. But there's always safety, whether it's in the water or in the garden. And I'm just kind of curious. I've never been scuba diving in my life. Is this something that's normal when you go scuba diving?
Well, it's getting to that point. Probably it's an alternative way of scuba diving right now. This is a particular mask made by Ocean Reef, and it's called an IDM. It's an integrated diving mask. So this basically is we don't have anything in our mouth. When you think about a scuba diver, you think about somebody who has a regulator in their mouth.
Yeah, and they're
exactly. They're biting on that, and they're usually uncomfortable, and they're not breathing through their nose. While this mask integrates both, so goggles and regulator, and you don't have anything in your mouth. So you're, of course, more comfortable. You are not worried about losing it in a worst case scenario where you're passing out underwater, because this is gonna hold on your head. And at the same time, a very important thing about not having something in your mouth, you are able to communicate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what we're going to be doing today. We'll be able to communicate with everybody.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay, hopefully so. Now, I have a big beard, obviously. Is that a problem?
No, this face seal is developed from gas masks.
Oh.
So you know it's gonna seal perfectly, even with facial hair and different sizes and types of faces.
Well, I definitely look forward to finding out how these work in the water. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to get to the control tower to see what's happening with Nemo's garden now. Who do we have right here?
We have Dario. Ciao, Dario.
Hey, Dario, how are you? Okay, so what is Dario doing in the control tower?
Dario is making sure that of course everybody's safe, and we have a bunch of screens there and intercoms and communications unit so that he can be in touch both with the biosphere. We have an intercom there as well, which we're gonna show, and the webcams and the wireless system of communication as well.
Okay.
And we also have 2 scuba divers who are waiting to show us Nemo's garden, I think.
Oh, nice. Okay, so let's go outside now, Dario.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Italy.
That's exactly that. This is Noli, a small place close to Genoa, in the northwest of Italy. And yeah, if we move outside, we can see two scuba divers right there, who probably can hear us already.
Okay, all right, there they are. That's what those dots are, huh?
Yeah, and one is my dad.
Hey, Dad, how are you? I love this. This is so cool. Never did I ever think we'd be able to do a transcontinental broadcast like this. This is a kid. Okay, so they're sitting there. They're in the water.
Yes.
What exactly are they doing there?
They're waiting for us, basically, to take us underwater and show us the biospheres, these big balloons you will see.
Okay, so the biospheres are in the water right now.
They are.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay. How did they get in the water in the first place?
We had to build them both on land and then take them underwater and build some underwater. It's really a long process to do, but in 3 years we got pretty good at it and pretty fast at it.
How many of these biospheres do you have in the water right now?
At the moment, I believe we have 5.
5 of them. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll show you.
Okay. So what's the next thing right here? We get our scuba gear on.
Exactly.
And once we get up there, I would assume we swim out there. And then how far off from the shore are these biospheres?
Well, we are, this is tricky. In meters, we're about 50 to 60 meters, so I'd say 80 feet.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, 150 feet from the shoreline.
All right.
Yeah.
And how far from the top of the surface are Nemos gardens? Can they touch them where they're at right now?
No. It's 20 feet underwater.
Really,
at the
that far
yes.
down?
Yes.
Oh, so you have to have the scuba gear, otherwise you need to take a really big breath and pretend you're pearl diving.
And we don't want that to happen. We have a system also to close these biospheres so that people with a good breath and going free diving don't do something unfortunately stupid enough to go inside and maybe mess up the whole system and maybe put themselves at risk.
So it also has you can actually lock it then?
Yeah, we do. But this is really because as you can see here, there are swimmers and we don't want to be in the way of them. So that's the only reason why we went that deep.
I see. Okay, so let's see what one of these things looks like.
Yeah. Papa, Gianni, can you take us underwater?
Okay, so here we have, now who are we looking at right here?
We're looking at my dad right there.
Okay. And he's descending down.
Yeah, and you can see this is biosphere number 3.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so it's not clear, it looks like. It looks like it's opaque. So you can't see through it.
It's because of the humidity. It actually is transparent.
No
the humidity
kidding.
and the light reflecting on it looks like it's opaque, but I hope we can show you inside. And inside, it's easier to see that it is transparent.
Okay, so that's all the sweating that's going on right now.
Which is a lot. It's a great deal.
And I'm sure we'll see the plants that are inside there. And those plants right there are, again, they're making everything sweat. And okay, so we have a platform of some sort, looks like.
Yeah, we use that for operations. It's comfortable to stay upon and to build things on it, and also for broadcasting.
Okay.
As you can see, there are smaller biospheres, and this one, the larger one, you can see well on the right, is the lab biosphere. That's where most of the research is done, and when we have different technology inside, sensors. We have a great deal of sensors actually. We have O2, CO2, light, temperature, water temperature, humidity, you name it, pH. There's everything.
I love this whole idea. So he's hanging around on the outside over here. He can take stuff from the inside, bring it out, or from the platform, take it inside as well. So there's a lot of activity. How many people can you fit in there?
In the larger biosphere, up to 3.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big footprint there.
It's I'd say it's 1,000 gallons of volume, so it is a challenge to keep it underwater.
And how long can he stay under there?
Well, it really depends on the level of oxygen inside. There will be a buildup of CO2, which, by the way, it's perfect for plants. And so we usually keep our masks on as much as possible. He's maybe gonna take it off to show us and to talk to us easier. but we do keep the levels at bay, and Dario can check the levels while he's under so that it's secure and safe.
Before we go much further and talk about the nuances, what's going on in this controlled environment, one of the things that we can't control is insects in the real world. I mean, we're talking things like grasshoppers and slugs and snails and sucking insects like aphids. Are these kind of things a problem inside Nemo's garden? And if so, how do you control them?
Well, we took them out of the equation from the start. We brought the garden underwater, out of the reach, so we really don't have any interaction whatsoever from parasites, from insects that either that are gonna affect the crop or the growth of the plant at all. And maybe one day we'll have some crab crawling inside, and who knows. But as of now, we have had no interaction at all.
Which is really kind of interesting, because let's say you do have this crab or creature that comes up and starts adapting to this growing environment, and what if we find out it's actually good for our plants?
Could be.
Yeah.
It could be. It's just...
Yeah, so therefore the data that you're collecting could be something that is so far advanced, we just can't even fathom it right now.
Probably. I mean, there's so many question marks right there, so many doors we have to still open and see what's holding, the future is holding for us and all this project.
Okay, so we have Papa ready to go inside of Nemo's garden. All right, how does he enter into there?
So, Dad, can you show us how we can get inside of biosphere number 3?
Okay, sure. Let me introduce the biosphere number 3.
So you can see that, of course, we need something on which to stand on. And that's complicating the process of getting inside the biosphere, but we do need something to stand on. Otherwise, the floor, the seafloor, could be either irregular in the shape, and in this case, it's kind of tilted. It's a hill.
Okay.
It doesn't look that way, but it's really, you can see it here. It's downhill a lot, so we need something.
And otherwise, he'd be bouncing up and down.
Exactly,
and all that.
exactly. So we need something as a support, and now they're entering the biosphere.
So once he gets in there, how far is the water based on his neck?
It's basically up to here, so we can comfortably work with our shoulders.
Look at that, we're inside. Okay, so we've made it. We're in Italian water. We're in this biosphere, and there's Dad. Hey, Dad, how are you?
Ciao.
Good. I'm fine. I'm great.
How about doing me a favor and telling me where you're at and what you're doing?
Okay. We are in the Nemos garden. We are in the biosphere number 3. I am with Gianni, hi there. And we are pretty lucky because we can show you just the growing of the basil that we put on the tree bed. So 4 days ago, and it's already growing up. This is the green basil, the first plant that we put on the tree bed. And this is the red basil. It's a little bit dark, but it's growing pretty well. And you can see we are underwater, and there is a lot of humidity here. The salt water is condensing on the inner part of the biosphere because the temperature of the air is higher than the temperature of the water. So it's condensing, and this fresh water is what it makes possible the growing of the vegetables. There are other seed beds, and there are pots on the left of Gianni. They are ready to welcome additional plants that we are going to put on the pots in the next day. Okay, here is the sensor system where we are able to monitor the air temperature inside of the biosphere, the water temperature, the humidity, the level of oxygen, the level of CO2, and the quantity of light that we are receiving at this depth. So it's monitoring 24 hours per day the situation in the biosphere. We can even check the pH of the soil that we are using. And this is another camera that is allowing us to check from remote the situation in the biosphere. We have little lights we can turn on during the night and see what's happening in this beautiful environment, even during the night. And it's the area is approximately 6 feet diameter, 2,000 liters of buoyancy, and we are at approximately now, my level is around 15 feet, but it's anchored to the bottom of the sea, and it's pretty full of fishes that are surrounding us.
Does the water level ever change inside of the biosphere? Does it ever go up inside there and to compromise any of the work that you're doing, or is the level always stay the same?
No, it's staying the same. Staying the same because we are keeping the level of the water at around, let's say, 30 centimeters from the first seabed. And so we just inflate the air inside, and we fulfill the biosphere of how much air we feel enough to keep everything safe and well protected.
How long can you stay in the biosphere without having to put your mask back on and to breathe regular oxygen? Because, you know, Johnny's in there, you're in there, you have the CO2 that's coming out, and that right there, of course, is deadly.
Yeah, we cannot stay too much without our mask on. We are now very close to the limit. We are more than 4% of CO2, so in a few seconds we have to switch to our mask, and we have to breathe fresh air, because otherwise it may become dangerous, of course.
Well, I want to applaud you for all the work that you're doing. This is very exciting. I am just so privileged to have met you and your son, and for you to share this with our audience. We wish you much success in what you're doing over here, and I really hope that people will understand the importance of the technology that you're bringing that could really help people worldwide.
Thank you so much. It is really a privilege for us too to be in connection with you from Italy and Los Angeles, so far away. It's pretty exciting, really exciting.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.
This really excites me on so many different levels, especially when we think about drought. And just here in the United States, there are 14 of them that are in a horrific drought. So I'm thinking to myself that we can have this ecosystem underwater along our shorelines, as well as possibly in lakes that do have water, to create an edible agricultural kind of thing for people to participate in. Is that a possibility one day?
Absolutely, absolutely it is. It is something that we are aiming for big time. We are in the experimental phase right now, but the aim is that of having an opportunity to export this this kind of system to third world countries, through coastlines around the world where they have a problem both in getting the basic resources for agriculture, water, soil, energy, and water. So we make fresh water, we don't consume any energy in doing that. Why not use it maybe even outside? So if we have an excess of water inside these biosphere, maybe take it outside to the village.
Yeah, you just never know the impacts like this can really have, because it's so important to understand that most of the earth is covered with salt water. And being that salt water is there, desalination, of course, has always been on somebody's mind, trying to figure out how to do that, but it hasn't been cost effective. But think about it, if we're able to take and grow vegetables in a body of salt water, and yet those vegetables can grow, we can consume them, and we're not taking in all those, oh man, the implication is huge on something like this. So we just don't know where this is going to go, and it all becomes and comes from the vision of your father on vacation, ruining that whole time with your mom.
Exactly. It's true.
And yet we as humanity can actually benefit from that. I think that's really cool.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
So we'll see where this goes. Well, much success. I really want to make sure that we keep on top of all this and see how we're going to be able to bring it to the forefront. And we never know. Maybe in the next 100 years, Nemo's garden is how we're going to be eating.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Next time on Things Green, we're visiting the Los Angeles Zoo, where we will learn all about which plants are toxic and which plants are safe for the animals to eat. Then, we will get an in-depth look at our animal friends by exploring the zoo's many exhibits. We'll even get a little messy and help clean up the elephant pen for Billy the Elephant. All of this and more next time on Things Green.
Things Green is brought to you in part by
Super Thrive, the original vitamin solution. 50 vitamins and nutrients. Vitamins for trees, plants, and lawns. More information at superthrive.com.
Southland Sod Farms, creators of genuine marathon sod. Pre-grown tall fescue grass. More information at sod.com.
Dram Garden Products, makers of watering tools since the 1940s. Committed to saving water with handheld tools, hoses, and water wands. More information at dram.com.
With continued support from Cole Tomato Cages, planting, growing, and harvesting. More information at colemetals.com. And by the Radisson Hotel Whittier, with newly renovated rooms and an on-site bistro restaurant. More information at radisson.com. And by the State Farm Youth Advisory Board, supporting school-based, youth-led service learning projects.